Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. Real briefly, I wanted to discuss the story where there's a man who allegedly kidnapped a white woman to force her to watch Roots so that she can better understand racism. Now, the reason I'm going to be brief with this story is because a lot of people are already talking about this story, and not just that. My perspective is always just a little bit different, okay? Of course, I do share the same perspective as some. But I always like to bring it back around to reality. And for me, reality is this. We as a people have a mindset that is all wrong. We keep trying to appeal to those who are fully aware what they are doing and how they feel about us. We're trying to appeal to them to have some type of care or concern or humanity concerning us. We have to remember that it was prophesied that these things would happen, that they would feel this way. The scripture talks about how they would have a perpetual hatred for us. Okay. And so his plan seems to have backfired. There are some sources that are saying that after he forced her to do this, and he threatened that if she got up and left, that he was going to spread her parts all over the place, right? Her body parts. But we don't know what was actually said. From the looks of the mugshot of him, he looks like he thinks this is funny, or maybe he thought it was a joke or whatever. But common sense didn't kick in to tell him that you can't do this kind of thing, right? You can't try to force people to understand your plight, especially when their ancestors are the ones who are doing these things to you in the first place, okay? Now, some sources, again, are saying, too, that she said that she does understand it now. She understands now why white people don't like black people. So this experience made her say, instead of her understanding what her ancestors did to us, it made her say, well, no, what I understand now is why my ancestors didn't really like you. So it backfired. It was a deflection. Her statement was deflection. Of course, I wouldn't take too kindly to someone doing this to me, forcing me either, right? But this just kind of really showed that she doesn't want to understand what her ancestors did to us, right? That's what it shows to me. But it also shows that this so-called black man, he thinks that if I could just show you how your people treated my people, maybe you will love me. Maybe you will have some type of compassion for me. Maybe you will have some type of concern for our plight. Listen, we've got to get it through our minds. And I know that this is not every last white person, just like it's not every last black person that would do something like what he did. Okay? But we've got to get it in our minds that we've got to stop trying to appeal to people who have told us time and time again, as a large group. Large groups of them have made it very plain how they feel about us. Look at number 45. He has a base in this country that will stick by him regardless to what he does. You see, even so-called Christians who claim to be lovers of the Most High, Bible thumpers, even they have said that they're going to support him no matter what he does. And he really pushes racial tensions in this country. And yet we think we can appeal to that type of mindset to get them to understand. Trust me, they fully understand their position and they fully understand our position. It is what it is, right? And I'm not making light of anything. I just want my people to understand that crying, weeping, moaning, marching, singing, none of that is going to appeal to a stony heart. Okay? Now, you might have those who will feel sorrow for what their ancestors have done. They do exist, okay? But not enough of them exist to combat what their own people do, right? Because many of them know that if they do stand up with you against white supremacy, they already know that they will receive backlash as well. So many are not willing to stick their necks out, right? And those who feel the way that they do, I don't care You can put a crying infant, little tiny, beautiful chocolate drop baby in front of them, who's never done anything at all. There are many, many, many millions of them who will still look at that baby and can't conjure up 1 ounce of love, 1 ounce of compassion. What they see is that baby 20 years from now. As a matter of fact, let me make it younger than that. They see that baby 13 years from now. You see 12 years from now in the case of Tamir Rice. You see, they don't see an infant, an innocent infant, right? See, we are different. Now, some of you might take offense when I say this, but it is what it is. So-called black people are different. When it comes to love and compassion and things of that nature, for the most part, we can look at a child regardless of what the color or race is, and we can just see, of course, we understand Bible prophecy and all of this. We do understand that. Some of us do understand that. But for the most part, we can't look at a child, regardless to what race or color it is, and just feel that type of bitterness that some of these other groups can feel. We can feel compassion. We can feel love, right? But there are some of them who will look at our children and cannot feel that ever, regardless to if it was just born or if it's 2 or 3 years old or whatever. But we are different than that, you see. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say on this. I spoke actually more than I wanted to on this subject. It's not that I'm trying to keep away from racial subjects. There are many subjects that I'm just getting tired of, family. I'm just getting tired of them. I want to talk about growing food. I want to talk about taking care of our families and things of this nature. It just seems like we're just flooded with this type of stuff, right? But what's unfortunate is that a lot of our people are just not interested in even talking about growing food. I notice the videos where I do, where I'm talking about gardening or just other things, they hardly even get a look, hardly even get a second look. So anyway, I am done with this pathetic story. It's like, brother, don't waste your time. You just made matters worse for yourself, and you achieved absolutely nothing with her. She still feels the same way. Okay, it is what it is, and with that, I will say shalom.
Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.